for the live feed. As soon as Carlton's in here, I'll have Ann kick us off.
People are trying to come in.
Yeah, ask him if he wants to be in at the start or if he wants to come in a couple minutes. And are you ready when we're ready? Are you ready when we're ready?
Whenever you say.
All right, everybody ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
All right, as soon as Carlton's in here, that'll be fine.
Everyone remember your microphone.
Do we have to turn them on and off?
No, they are always going to be on.
Have you guys done a test to see what the distance is that we need to meet?
Yep, we tested that earlier and alternated who was sitting where, and all the cables were tested for all the mics as well. So shouldn't be any issues.
All right.
Everybody in the room?
Yep.
All right. All right, Ann, on your mark.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for participating in the County Commissioner Candidate Forum. As a reminder, this harassment-free environment is designed to give both candidates and Huerfano County citizens a neutral, impartial overview of the candidates in this election. Candidates are expected to behave professionally and cordially and allow each other to speak uninterrupted. Please do not distract or disrupt other candidates during their allotted time slots. Please also silence your electronic devices and limit their usage during the forum. Remember, this is live and your microphones are on at all times. Tonight's forum will feature questions on the topics of affordable housing, health and wellness, law enforcement and public safety, water, property taxes, and parks and recreation. We have 5 candidates representing both parties: Arica Andreatta, Dale Lyons, Jim Chamberlain, Mitchell Wardell, Travis Nelson, and a 6th, Bruce Quintana, who is working on attaining enough signatures to run as independent candidate in the general election. Before we start, I will give a quick overview of the format. Each candidate will get 60 seconds to give an introduction, including their qualifications for the role. I will then introduce the first topic in question, and we will proceed round by round from there for a total of 6 rounds. After 6 rounds, I will give each candidate 60 seconds for a closing statement, and then I will officially close the forum. Let's begin with our introductions. First, we have Mitchell Wardell. Then we have Jim Chamberlain. We have Bruce Quintana. We have Travis Nelson, Arica Andreatta, and Dale Lyon. If you could each start, and with your opening statements, we'll start with Mr. Wardell.
Hello, my name is Mitchell Wardell, and I am a Southern Colorado native from the San Luis Valley. I grew up on a family ranch where I learned a hard work ethic and gained extensive experience with water rights. I have a degree from Front Range Community College in horticulture that helped me co-found 3 businesses here in Huerfano County. I served on 3 boards and understand the structure of how they work. I believe the key to solving Huerfano County's problems is a strong economy created naturally by the private sector. I am not a standard politician, so I will not make empty campaign promises that the Office of County Commissioner is not capable of fulfilling.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Chamberlain.
Hi, my name is Jim Chamberlain. I've lived and worked in Huerfano County for 41 years. As a candidate for county commissioner, I'm excited here tonight to share my vision for our community. As a longtime resident of this beautiful county, growing up working on my family's ranch on Highway 10, to working at the police department in Walsenburg, to working at the Levita Marshal's office for 5 years. I also had a distinguished career for 26 years in the United States Air Force, 4 years active duty, and 22 years in the reserves. I worked also for the Huerfano County Department of Human Services, and I've seen firsthand the challenges that we face, from struggles of our local businesses to the needs of our rural farmers and ranchers, but also the incredible potential that lies within all of us. I'm committed to working tirelessly to unlock it. As commissioner, my top priority will be to listen to the voices of our citizens, work to address the issues that matter most to you, and I will make sure that our government is working for you.
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Quintana. I've been here in Huerfano County since 1995. My family's roots in this county go back to 1850 or 1855 in that area. I believe my experience in the city, working with the citizens of Walsenburg, I believe that the 30 years I have combined between the city of Walsenburg and the county of Huerfano would benefit the county of Huerfano over time. I believe that experience counts. I think that with that, I can come in and actually do the job. I sit right now at the second highest position in my office, and I believe that the next step would be to either run for assessor or one of the equal seats. And so the seat became open, and so now I'm venturing into a new field, and I hope to serve Huerfano County well.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
Hello, my name is Travis Nelson. I'm proud to be running for your commissioner for District 1. In 2022, I was the first Senate candidate to represent Huerfano County since 1974. If you want to put a bullseye on when we started seeing a decline, that would be 1974, when our Honorable Senator Sam Taylor finished his 40-year term with our legislature. What we need in Huerfano County is true representation. I'm proud to bring that to you. I have met with over half of our legislatures. I believe that the most important relationship a commissioner can have, besides with his voters, is with that of the state legislature. We are very poor here, and those resources must be found at the state level. I would ask you to check out my website, Travis for Huerfano, and I'm grateful for your one vote this primary. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. My name is Arica Andreatta. I'm your current Huerfano County Commissioner, representing Levita and Cuchara, but serving all Huerfano County citizens. I was born and raised in Huerfano County. I have a degree in business management from the University of Colorado, and I've had a successful career in Denver, but I couldn't wait to get back to this beautiful place we call home. Upon moving back, I served as the director of Medco Professional Services. I met my husband, Chad, who's a fourth-generation cattle rancher, and together we've dedicated ourselves to bettering Huerfano County. We personally recognize the desperate need for economic development, tourism, housing, job creation. So we created Code of the West Real Estate, the Lofts Downtown, the Whistle Stop Lofts, the Walsenburg Mercantile, the Regalburg Deli, and the Stokehouse Seafood Steak Restaurant. I felt as though I could take my passion and dedication for this county even further if I ran as a Huerfano County Commissioner. Through my first campaign, my platform and visions for the county were clear and concise. After learning the day-to-day inner workings of our county government, my platform remains the same. I would be honored to serve you for another 4 years and complete many of the projects I already have in the works.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Lyons.
Hi, my name is Dale Lyons. I'm a candidate for County Commissioner for District 1. Over the years, I've been privileged to serve this community as a nurse, advocate, and member of numerous various boards and committees. I am ready today to take on the responsibility of managing the county's business as your county commissioner. I understand the importance of fiscal responsibility, and I will work tirelessly to ensure our resources are managed effectively, that our infrastructure is cared for, and that every decision is made with long-term health of our county in mind. As your county commissioner, I pledge to be an advocate for sound financial practices, transparent governance, and strategic planning. We will face challenges, and we will build a future that reflects the strength and unity of Huerfano County. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates, for those statements. Let's get started with our first topic. The first topic is affordable housing. Do you believe affordable housing is needed in Huerfano County? And if so, what steps would you take to set this in motion? And we'll start with Mr. Wardell.
I do think affordable housing is an issue. However, I do not think that the county should own and operate housing. I do support the efforts that the Huerfano County Economic Development is doing in their effort to build houses to then sell them at an affordable rate. I would support them in their endeavors rather than attempting to launch anything that would compete with them. We need to work together and not against one another. I also think we need to give room to individuals and businesses in the private sector who are also working to build and develop housing opportunities. The private sector is more efficient and better equipped at doing this than county government.
Thank you. Mr. Chamberlain.
Thank you. I do believe that Huerfano County needs affordable housing. Walsenburg offers a variety of affordable housing, apartments, houses for rent, and those kinds of things. There's also limited affordable housing in Levita, but for the whole county, it is seriously lacking. I've heard numerous times of prospective job seekers coming into Huerfano County trying to find jobs, but then they can't find a place to live, so then they have to go back outside the area. As your county commissioner, it's something that can be looked into for future possible implementation, but first it needs to be researched from a feasibility perspective.
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
Affordable housing, I believe that now is the time to act on that. Our housing, the rental rates are going up. We can't afford to allow that to happen without thinking about additional ways to support that area. I have an idea that I think that would work well. I would like to create a training center for carpenters, electricians, and HVAC, anybody who is a part of the building field. I'd like to train them or assist in getting a training center so that we can train them. And that's my main goal, is to get together with state agencies and local agencies so I can see where the pathway is to get this accomplished. I believe that with affordable housing, we can solve most of the housing problems. I think if we enlist students and potential home buyers to create these homes, I think we can get them off let's call it the line, at an affordable price.
Your time's up, Mr. Quintana. Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
When it comes to affordable housing, I'm most concerned about our aging population here in Huerfano County. For example, 33%, 1/3 of our residents are over age 65. 15% of our residents, that's over 1,000 people that reside in Huerfano County, are over 75 years old. In the next 10 years, 5 years, this 4-year term, we're going to see a lot of those people needing transitional housing to move into. In our district up in Gardner, you have so many people that live in rural areas. They haul water and firewood, and they are 75 years old. My primary goal is to provide housing to that aging population to prevent them from ending up in low-rate nursing homes in Pueblo and the San Luis Valley. I want to keep our people together and serve them. I respect our elders. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. Prior to COVID, Huerfano County actually had a housing study completed, and that housing study showed that we were 200 units too few for homes for sale and 100 units too few for homes for rent. We take that very seriously, and we've done a lot personally to try to overcome that. As a Huerfano County Commissioner, I think it's important that people understand there's a difference between low income, affordable, and attainable housing. I personally believe that it is an old school thought process that government shouldn't be involved in housing, and I believe that because the state and federal government is flooding the market with funding to make those projects happen. Since I've been in office, I was successfully able to get the transition over of the Rio Cacharas Hotel to Huerfano County, and that is a prime project where we can make mini units, possibly up to 28 units with 3 homes with funding that's coming from the state and the federal government to help solve some of our housing crisis. However, I need a board to be elected that will support us in those endeavors. Again, there's many opportunities in the private sector, but they're not here, and it's not happening in Huerfano County, so the government needs to step up and get that ball rolling. Also, if you look traditionally, many governments have been a part of things like the private sector. For example, look up the owner of the Red Rocks Theater.
Thank you. Ms. Lyons.
Absolutely. Our economic growth and sustainability depend on our development of affordable housing. I was appointed by the County Planning and Zoning Commission to serve on the Innovative Housing Opportunity Project Steering Committee last October. Our coalition believes it is essential to develop affordable housing in areas that have existing water and wastewater systems. Other strategies being explored: the use of vacant, publicly owned real property within the local government for development of affordable housing, granting duplexes, triplexes, and other appropriate multifamily housing options to be used by right in single-family residential zoning districts, allow for development of small, square-foot residential units. Update to land use policies that encourage affordable housing must remain sensitive to the county's rural environment and content. Our coalition has identified suitable sites as in conducting a suitability analysis of parcels in the project area for housing development. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to our second topic now, which is health and wellness. What do you feel are the biggest challenges facing the health and wellness of our community? And how do you plan to address these challenges? Mr. Wardell.
Thank you. I think crime is our biggest challenge facing the health and wellness of Huerfano County. We all hear about, and many have experienced crime in some form or another, and there have even been a few murders in the county, and this has to stop. I think the best solution that county commissioners can offer is to do the best that they can do to ensure the sheriff's department and the district attorney office have the funding necessary to tackle this problem. In reality, this is their responsibility, and the responsibility of county commissioners is to fund those departments.
Thank you. Mr. Chamberlain.
Thank you. From what I've seen, some of the biggest challenges facing the health and wellness of Huerfano County is limited access to health care. We do have Spanish Peaks Regional Health Center, and they are doing a very good job. My wife works in the x-ray department. They are expanding. They are getting more doctors in. They are offering more services. Their family clinic is doing a really good job in Walsenburg and also in Levita. They have limited operating hours. They are also offering a walk-in clinic that they have on Mondays and Wednesdays from 5 to 7, and on the second and fourth Saturdays of the month. I also see that there's a lack of resources for mental health. Health Solutions does offer services here in Walsenburg, but there are some people that really don't feel comfortable going to a mental health facility in their hometown. Possibly somebody might see their car out there, and they don't really feel comfortable doing that. Also, the Huerfano County and Los Animas County Health Department has an office here in Walsenburg. They can promote health, prevent disease, but there are some concerns which may pose a threat to the county, such as maybe some coronaviruses or other possible viruses that may come out. But just education, and keep supporting Spanish Peaks Regional Health Center.
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
I believe health and wellness revolves around good food, exercise. I believe in the farmers markets that we have. I think that we should increase the availability to farm fresh foods, support our local farms and ranches, buy local beef. I think that in doing that, we would become a better community and more healthy community. I believe that if we extend the community center and add a walking track, that's one of my potential visions. I think that would help. A walking track that has stations where you can stop and do sit-ups, pull-ups, whatever you need to do. And if you're not physically inclined like that, you might want to go to the lap pool, the individual lap pools. I see that they're very affordable. I believe that getting 2 of those wouldn't be too expensive. And there's a lot of people that love aquatic exercise. And so I would hope to add that to what is available. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
When it comes to health and wellness, I believe the 2 main issues that are pressing against Huerfano and our nation as a whole are, I'll go back to it, it's the aging population. We need to move quickly to provide services to take care of our aging population of Huerfano, which is double the state average. Secondly, we need to look out for the health of women. I've been proud through my campaign to carry Initiative 89, gathering signatures to protect women's reproductive rights. I'm doing this for my daughter. I don't want to see things happen like in Texas, where you have a fetus and they force these women to wait till the baby dies in their womb and sepsis starts taking place before they'll perform an abortion. I will always stand on the side of women and your health. We are pro-choice with 1 vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. I believe the major issues in Huerfano County for health and wellness would include, but are not limited to, the aging population, the high levels of poverty, the large unemployment rate, drug addiction, and youth development. If some of you may not know, Huerfano County was the first county to pursue a lawsuit with Big Pharma, and they successfully won that opioid settlement. And many, many counties and states, and it's almost nationwide, have been a part of that. So we are receiving funding to get education out for opioid awareness through our youth and through our county. I'm a big advocate of getting not an equal share, but equality in our shares, especially with those tri-county governments or dual county governments. For example, the health department oversees Huerfano and Los Animas County. And during COVID, I was a very strong advocate to make sure that Huerfano County was receiving an equitable share in addition to Los Animas County. Same thing with Council of Governments. We have to have an advocate standing up for what is equitable for our county. There are GOCO grants available. I would love to have our awesome team who is very successful in grant writing and succeeding in those grants apply for a field house. Again, we've been given some tremendous properties, and we can move forward with that if we had a team that was on the same page and supportive. Our team has received over $10 million in grant funding since I've been in office, and I'd love to apply some more of those to some type of indoor field house. And farmers market, I'm glad you brought that up, Bruce. That's an awesome opportunity. We're also working to make sure that we can get affordable food in our area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Lyons.
Thank you. I have been committed to health and wellness for many years. I have worked in the healthcare profession for 4 decades. Many community members know me from my years as a nurse and the health of the county in the area that I have the strongest experience and passion. I have identified 4 key areas that I believe we need to address: access, affordability, community clinics, health education. Let's talk access. I believe telehealth would be a great access to increase access to health care to citizens, especially in the area of mental health. Affordability, continue to focus on options available to have health care affordable for our citizens. Revitalize our community health clinics, as they may serve as a hub for telemedicine when internet access is limited. Health education must be started very young. A coalition with RE1, RE2, the Health Department, and Spanish Peaks Regional Hospital can help a lot in the pursuit of this goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to our third topic, which is law enforcement and public safety. What are the greatest challenges to our law enforcement, and what can be done to overcome those challenges, and how will it be funded? Mr. Wardell.
Thank you. I think the greatest challenge to law enforcement is funding. Deputies need better salaries if they wish to stay in this community. Our sheriff's department has been struggling with staffing, and I think if we could pay deputies better wages, then they would be more inclined to stay here and not move on to better paying positions in other counties and cities. There are 3 ways to increase funding that I am aware of. One is to raise taxes, which is I am against. 2 is grant money, which is only temporary and sporadic. And 3 is economic growth and jobs through the private sector. More jobs means more taxpayers, and more taxpayers mean more revenue for the county. More revenue means better funding of county departments. I am in favor of the third option because it is more sustainable. As a commissioner, my goal is to make Huerfano County as business-friendly environment so the private sector can do what it does best.
Thank you. Mr. Chamberlain.
Yes, I do have some experience with this. The Huerfano County Sheriff's Office, I've seen, faces various challenges in providing effective law enforcement and public safety services to the community. Some of the greatest challenges that they're facing is limited resources. The Sheriff's Office has limited personnel and resources, making it difficult to respond to calls for service and maintain a visible presence in the community. The rural nature of our county means that makes it challenging to provide adequate coverage and improve response times, especially in the remote areas. Limited funding, the Sheriff's Office relies heavily on limited funding, which can hinder the ability to invest in new technologies, training, and equipment, and enticing those that want to join law enforcement to come down to our area. There are a lot of other places that do offer more pay, but I don't think they would get such diverse experience as they would working in Huerfano County. Some ways to overcome the challenges is increasing community engagement, fostering a stronger relationship with the community through community outreach, public outreach programs, and crime prevention efforts. Investing in technology, some things that we can think about, they have body cameras, computers, and those things, maybe a license plate reader or something like that. Developing partnerships with other law enforcement agencies, and maybe starting a foundation to receive more funding.
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
Well, when you look around town, you look around the county, you see that there's a lack of police force. We're at our bare minimum. We need more officers, and it's hard to get officers to come to our county and train or to stay. The income isn't there. And so I believe that if we were to supplement the income somehow by affordable housing, maybe passes to the park, combination of out-of-the-box ideas that would encourage them to stick around. If you look at Walsen, every day I go home, people are racing up and down Walsen because they know that we don't have the police force to do anything about it. And so I would try to make sure that Walsenburg has at least 2 officers a day patrolling Walsenburg. We need to be able to go up streets and alleys, drive the streets, let their presence be known. I believe that if we can encourage new officers to come in, I believe that we can possibly solve that problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
Well, I think that our sheriff, Bruce Newman's done a pretty decent job with law enforcement around here with a bare bones budget. When it comes to crime and justice, you get what you pay for. Over the Senate campaign, I argued for a $12,000 a year raise for law enforcement. I was happy to see a $13,000 raise go into place with the deputies in Huerfano County. I also am very concerned because we're in a stage of transition. DA Solano is term limited and he'll be gone. Sheriff Newman will be retiring in 2 years. I think our fellow candidate here may be taking that position, and I look forward to working with you if that happens. On a personal note, on May 5th, my daughter, who's 9 years old, Arizona, and ex-wife were traveling on a road in Florida looking at houses. A man swerved up, hit them. When they pulled off the road for this accident, this guy pulled out a gun and shot 7 rounds into the car with my daughter and my ex-wife. She was pregnant with twins and struck 4 times. It was by the grace of God that they both survived. So I'm carrying on a fight to see that man is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and locked away for the rest of his life. Very personal to me.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. Law enforcement and public safety. What is the greatest challenge? Funding, absolutely, but I don't think it's funding in the way that some may think. We have gone to great lengths to make sure that the Sheriff's Department has the funding they need. We've also given raises to the deputies for retention purposes, and we're only a few deputies away from being fully staffed. They are out there constantly. If you listen to the calls or any of the recordings or even just read the newspaper, you understand how dedicated and hardworking they are. However, in the past 5 years, our DA budget has gone from $100,000 to $200,000 to $300,000 to $400,000 to over $700,000. That's half of what the sheriff's budget is just for the DA. The DA is now the highest paid per capita. And are we seeing any differences, or are we still seeing a 75% rate of dismissed cases? That is nothing that we can control within a budget. There is no money that you can throw at something that is just completely broken. So I always look at what is the solution, what is the root cause, and to me, the root cause has been the relationship with the DA. He is now term limited. We will get a new DA in November, but I don't want to see this pattern continue. So I've actually requested a meeting with Phil Weiser, our Attorney General, to make sure he understands our struggles in Huerfano County and that we cannot continue on this path where that increase happens. And again, we're paying half of our budget to a DA that we're paying to our Sheriff's Department. We're also working very closely with the city of Walsenburg to make sure they're paying their equal share and that we can afford to keep our deputy rates high.
Thank you. Ms. Lyons.
Thank you. Huerfano County Sheriff's Department has faced many challenges. Difficulty in recruiting and retaining officers, limited budget that demands offering officers salaries that are not competitive with other counties up north, lack of prosecution and conviction of those arrested for committing crimes. Drugs, addiction, and mental illness contribute to the complexities of provided law enforcement to our county. The need for increased revenue streams needs to be investigated to maintain our level of county services. We may recruit local grant writers who have a record of success to assist with raising funds for the Sheriff's Department. The county has a statutory requirement to provide law enforcement services at an equal level to all citizens, which is difficult when law enforcement resources are concentrated in one area and dispatched from one area. About 65% of the calls are generated from Walsenburg. Let's get together around a round table and figure out revenue streams for our Sheriff's Department to be able to serve our entire county. Thank you.
Thank you. And that will bring us to our fourth topic, which is water. What are your views on the exportation of Huerfano County water and why? Mr. Wardell.
Thank you. I am 100% against the exportation of county water. Ranchers in the city of Walsenburg and other towns and communities in the county depend too much on what little water we have, and exporting it would potentially injure them. State laws, I believe, also put a limit on what can be pulled from rivers so as not to injure other water rights.
Thank you. Mr. Chamberlain.
Okay, on water. Yes, I am against the exportation of water from Huerfano County. Huerfano County is the home to several ranches and farms, and that water needs to stay in place so they can continue in their agricultural operations. I keep forgetting, sorry, thank you. growing up on a ranch, yes, we need water. We need water for animals. You need water for farming. You need water for produce. Also, if the county is going to expand and draw more people in, we need to think about, if we get rid of water now, how are we going to be able to have enough water should the county grow and need that water to support more personnel?
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
When I was sitting as mayor for the city of Walsenburg, I learned a lot. I spoke with the water attorney quite a bit, and from my understanding, the water that we get from the tributaries aren't always the same. Our watershed is different every year, and our potential for drought is extreme. So, in my vision, in my mind, I see water as gold, and you just don't give away gold. And so I'm for retaining our water rights, utilizing them properly, making sure that we have water for the ranches and for expansion of our town. I went to Denver and actually fought for our water rights. I went to Denver to ask for the state to pass or rewrite a statute that dictates that we only use agricultural water for agricultural purposes. Well, now we have the ability to use it in extreme circumstances, and so that availability is to all communities in Colorado. So I think that was a big win. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
In Colorado, there's a famous quote. It says, "Whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting." What happens in Colorado is we have appropriation doctrine. That means first in time, first in right. All water rights are attached to land, typically. I fight against the export of water. I've always fought to keep Huerfano County water local and optimize our water. What optimization is building storage and pipelines. So on real wet years, like this one, which we're fortunate of, you can store water. Then on dry years, you can release the water out of the reservoirs. I support the rebuild of Cucharas Reservoir number 5, which would double our municipality's water and create a large surplus of water through storage pipelines and optimization. I would encourage everyone to search Travis Nelson Water or Travis Nelson Huerfano on YouTube to learn more. I will always fight to keep our water local. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. Water is gold. As a real estate agent, I've studied water for 15 years. My husband owns water, so we have a deep knowledge and understanding of it. With that, as the Huerfano County Commissioner and with the help and guidance of planning and zoning, they put forth the county commissioners a regulation which would actually not allow the water to go outside of the county if it was going to be a hindrance to the county. So we've already put that into place. In my first commissioner debate, there was a question about water, and I thought to myself, Huerfano County doesn't own any water. So right away, before elected, I went and did as much research as I could, and I saw that Huerfano County is paying to lease water for road and bridge for your roads, and also leases water for our GPID, which is your Gardner Public Improvement District. Knowing anything about budget analysis, anytime you're leasing something in perpetuity, that's not a good budget strategy. So we looked for water that we could secure for the county. We were successful in securing the water on the Thorn Ranch. That is enough water to get this county through economic development and growth through road and bridge and through GPID for many years to come, if not centuries. So we're really excited to bring that to the county. I don't think that's anything, I know that's nothing that any commissioners before us had done, and it was a big project, and we were happy to bring that security to the county because water is absolutely gold, and you need to own it for yourself.
Thank you. Ms. Lyons.
Huerfano County is water short. Our water is all over appropriated. I am the appointed local government designee for oil and gas in this county. I entered this volunteer role because it was the preservation of our water quality that citizens felt most concerned about because of hydrocarbon exploration and extraction. Any export of water means that some existing users will lose their water, and there will be even less water available for future economic development. You will hear water export schemes called optimization projects. Does this mean someone's private profit will be optimized? Don't be fooled. It is a shell game which will rob the county of its water. I am proud of the work I did on the County Planning Commission to create House Bill 1041 regulations which will prevent the theft of our water. We cannot afford economic development unless we hold onto our water as strongly as legally possible. Working together, we can keep Huerfano water in Huerfano County. Water is a precious resource. There is no new water. Thank you.
Thank you. And on to the fifth topic, which is property taxes. Do you believe property taxes should be raised or lowered? And what are your reasons for this position? Do you have insight into the state's legislative actions on property taxes? We'll start with you, Mr. Wardell.
Thank you. I'm against raising property taxes. People should not be unreasonably taxed on their own property, and it will only do more harm than good. I am in favor of lowering property taxes, providing we are not in a deficit. And I think it is important to be fiscally responsible with the money the county gets rather than asking for more money when there is a deficit. I am familiar with the emergency session back in November that was convened under the claim of lowering property taxes. The bills they passed did not provide any meaningful tax relief and were only temporary. The repeal of the Gallagher Amendment in 2020 gave the state legislature the authority to set property assessment rates. They have the ability to lower property taxes, but they choose not to.
Thank you. Mr. Chamberlain.
Thank you. Yes, I am against raising property taxes with some caveats. I did some research, cursory, that showed that, Huerfano County collects a median of 0.40% of a property's value each year as property tax, which is lower compared to the rest of Colorado. Huerfano County is ranked 47th by median property taxes and 44th by median tax as a percentage of home values among the 64 counties in Colorado. But that doesn't mean that we should raise taxes. The Colorado Constitution requires that taxing bodies like the county, it restricts it from hiking taxes without modifying or notifying the public and conducting a public hearing. The Taxpayer Bill of Rights that the state currently is under, they have they've done an end around, calling it property tax reduction, where they're going to take and give you a tax credit instead of giving you your money back that's owed to you through the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. I do not support that at all. But we should also look at how the tax money is being used by the county, and I am fully prepared to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
I believe that the property taxes that we receive serve a purpose. It funds our hospital, it funds our police department, our sheriff's department, road and bridge. We get money for taxes for the road and bridge. It's a problem that's being worked on at the state. They're trying to find a formula that would be sufficient to satisfy the need to lower the property tax. They're doing that through valuation changes, and they're really affecting the way that the assessor's office does their job. Assessor's office was really cut and dry. It was the tax rates, there was 2, and property value dictated what something was worth. And now it's more complicated. You have 10 tax rates, and no longer is property value the dictating factor. They've reduced it artificially. I believe that we should go back to the old format, reinstitute some of the old stuff, and get a balance back. I believe it worked far better back then and more simplified. And as far as I'm concerned, I believe that we need tax revenue, but I don't believe that we should be paying overly on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
Our taxes are going up through the roof, and it's based on assessment. Last year alone in Huerfano, residential property assessed value went up 45% in 1 year. Agricultural property went up 45 on residential, had to take some notes there. Agricultural went up 49%, commercial went up 32%, and vacant land was the biggest with an increase of 58%. They tried to run Proposition HH, which the voters, myself included, voted down. They then scrambled to create Senate Bill 23B, which was a Band-Aid. I believe that we need increased tax base and lower taxes for our people. That is done through water optimization. When you create water service areas, you can now build houses. So instead of getting pennies for vacant land, you get thousands of dollars on a home's property tax. That also helps solve our housing issues, and that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. Should property taxes be raised or lowered? I think that needs to be follow the proper process that's set forth by state legislator. And so when evaluations are going up, so will property tax. They did take a bill to the state, and they took a bill to the voters, and that was voted down. However, the state chose to, in a way, override that. I do believe that you can offset your property tax with sales tax, but that takes economic development and growth. So as county commissioners, we can't look past that, and we can't look over opportunities that have been given to us. When the private sector is not becoming involved, the government sector should take a look at that. I don't believe I would be for or against an increase in something like a mill levy. I believe that needs to be taken to the vote of the people. I will say, however, if you've done your research, you'd understand that Huerfano County sits at one of the lowest mill rates in the state. So yes, there is absolutely room where you can increase that, and you probably should increase that, but that needs to be a vote of the people. I'm not gonna say I'm against taxes to win a vote. I'm gonna say, ask the people. That's who we represent. We did have an unprecedented amount of appeals this year for the property tax. I was very vocal, I was very fact-driven, and we were able to, at 100%, get those appeals to go in the favor of the county. So I will always fight for what's right, whether it's popular or not.
Thank you. Ms. Lyons.
Thank you. I believe in the right type of growth. What is the right amount of growth? Research is needed to look at revenue and expenditures to make an informed decision to raise or lower property taxes. A raise would burden citizens with a greater economic hardship. To lower might jeopardize our county services. As such, policies that reduce the burden of property tax on disabled veterans, seniors with fixed incomes, and on low-income families, or in some cases, exempting the burden of property tax makes sense. Increasing property tax on second homes and homes used primarily for short-term rentals may be a way to balance policies that would help low fixed-income households to make up lost revenue. As I understand it, the state legislation actually decreased the assessed value of residential properties by 55 grand and commercial properties by 35 grand, and that helps keep our taxes at the previous year's rates. This is information I got from our assessor's office. In previous years, the state has given money to help with the loss of county revenue. We need to be careful not to lose revenue that would hurt our county services. Thank you.
Thank you. And that'll bring us to our sixth and last topic, Parks and Recreation. What is your stance on developing parks and recreation throughout the county? And what is your plan for implementation? And how would this be funded? We'll start again with you, Mr. Wardell.
Thank you. Let's be honest, the county is in a deficit, and I think we should not be developing any new recreational projects. We should first look at the ones we do have and look into making them become self-funded. In short, if Parks and Recs do not make us money, I do not think we should be doing it. We should focus our efforts on more important functions of the county, like funding the Sheriff's Department and Road and Bridge, etc. If we can get back in the black financially, then I would be open to more ideas, but as stated, only if they can be self-funded.
Thank you. Mr. Chamberlain.
Yes, thank you. I believe that developing the parks and recreation areas throughout Huerfano County is crucial for well-being and the quality of life of the citizens. It helps promoting physical activity and outdoor recreation, encouraging community engagement and socialization, preserving natural habitats and ecosystems, and supports local economic growth and tourism. There are funds out there for it. Great Outdoors Colorado, local funding, raising funds, grants and partnerships, and also private donations also help keep our parks and recreation activities going. And I would support that, but by implementing this plan, the Huerfano County can create network of parks and recreation areas, promote outdoor recreation, community engagement, and environmental stewardship while also supporting local economic growth and tourism.
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
I feel that parks and recreation is a facet of a normal community, and we have to have a good amount of that. You have to be physically fit. You have to have parks to play in and places to visit. I think Huerfano County has some of the best vistas in Colorado, and so I would be okay with some walking trails to go look at these vistas. It doesn't take too much effort. There's youth organizations that do that kind of work. I believe that the extension of the community center with walking track indoor year-round would help in that. I think that can be pretty affordable if it's researched right. I think that losing my train of thought. I believe that there's if there's assistance from other areas. The trade school, for example, once you produce a home, you sell the home, you're going to sell it for a couple $100,000. There's going to be a net profit of about $60,000. The rest of the money will go back into the training center, but all the time you're getting some profit, you're having money. So there's a nest egg there that can be utilized in other areas of our county. So I believe that one project can help another project to survive or to flourish. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
I love our parks, especially Cuchara Mountain Park. To any of you out there that haven't been there, it's a beautiful place. It's open 365, open to the public year-round. I also look forward to the development of the Thorn Ranch and those 500 acres to serve as a park. I would also like to see another state park established in the Upper Huerfano. Now, with people getting a park pass on their registration unless they decline it, we have a huge increase of guests coming to our state parks. I would like to lean on the state of Colorado to bring another state park to the Upper Huerfano. I believe that would bring economic development, run a store, sell gas, visitors, tourism. For funds, I would focus on Colorado Great Outdoors, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, lottery funds, maybe ARPA dollars, Colorado State Outdoor Recreation Grant, as well as another host of grants. We'd have to leave that to Robert to look up some more. The main thing that we have in Huerfano County is our good people and the beauty of this country. Let's try to rack in some dollars and stop these tourists as they pass through our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. We cannot look past Park and Rec and the importance that it would bring to our community. We can't look past things because we don't have the funds, or we think we have the funds, or we don't have the funds, or there's a deficit. You have to think outside of the box. I know GoCo is mentioned by a few of the candidates, and I'm grateful for that because Greater Outdoors Colorado is paid for by lottery dollars, and they are constantly giving grant funding for things like Parks and Rec. But let's think outside of the box even further. A conversation that I have a scheduled meeting on the books for June 11th is, what if we worked together as a city, as a town, as a county? We'd have a greater pool. We could take care of our parks and recs on a larger scale. We could apply for greater funding because we'd be a tri-municipality going after the same grants. What if you can get GoCo to buy into the idea of covering the Walsenburg wild waters and getting that back in operation because it is now a tri-county, tri-municipality group. There's so much we can do, but you have to have the energy, you have to know where to look for grants, and you have to have the passion. I have 2 children. let me back up. I grew up teaching children how to swim in this community as a lifeguard. I now have 2 children who cannot swim. This is a big deal. We're talking about obesity. We're talking about our youth, our elderly, the general population, crime, public safety, health and wellness. All of that can be, it's not going to be solved, but it could be helped if you just look into your parks and rec. So it is something that has to be top of mind and top of heart, and there is absolutely funding out there. And I'll say it till I'm a broken record, we have to have a board that looks at the county as a whole and does what's in the best interest of everyone.
Thank you. Ms. Lyon?
Park and recreation is a major way the county can both improve quality of life, promote health and wellness, and provide tourism opportunities to boost our economy. I was an active volunteer on the County Park and Rec Board. I learned a lot about different recreation funding and spaces across Huerfano County. The county has supported and invested in Rural Technical Assistance Plan, RTAP. RTAP has researched the Outdoor Coalition Recreation Arena, with a coalition including CU Boulder, CSU Extension, Office of Economic Development, Huerfano County, and have developed goals, policies, and actions for our county. This work has enabled Huerfano County to participate in Spanish Peak's Outdoor Coalition. Funding mechanism might look like use fees, a percentage of sales tax revenues allocated specifically to park and rec, and recreational programs such as adult and youth sports that make enough revenue through sponsorships and promotions to keep entry fees affordable and allow programs to make enough to be sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that finishes our topics. I want to thank all of you candidates for participating in this forum. At this time, we are going to give you 60 seconds for a closing statement, and we're going to start down on the end with Ms. Lyons.
Oh. Okay, thank you. Just give me a second. Okay. As a proud member of this community for over 40 years, I stand before you not just as a candidate, but a committed steward of our well-being. The business of the county is more than just budgets and bureaucracy. It's about planning for the future. Oh, duh, sorry. Should I start again? Should I start again? I'm sorry. We need strategic growth that doesn't overwhelm our limited resource and growth that preserves our rural lifestyle. I am committed to careful, thoughtful planning that considers the needs of today without sacrificing the well-being of tomorrow. Our community is resilient, and together we can navigate the challenges and seize opportunities that come our way. Together we can build a sustainable future we can be proud of. I ask for your vote for Dale Lyons in the primary for County Commissioner in District 1. I appreciate your support. Remember to return your ballots by June 25th. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andreatta.
Thank you. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the citizens of Huerfano County. It has been a pleasure of a lifetime to serve as your Huerfano County Commissioner of the La Vida-Cuchara District, but serving all Huerfano County citizens. It was equally an honor to serve as your first female elected county commissioner and your youngest elected county commissioner. And with that, we brought a whole new realm of ideas to the table. The thoughts are limitless, the energy is limitless, the funding can be limitless. We are Huerfano County. Huerfano is Spanish for orphan. People see that. We've given presentations and we've secured grant funding for a number of different things, and I'd love to speak to each and every one of you about that. It's been challenging to do in a 60-second or 90-second debate. We have so many projects in the work, and I truly believe as a county commissioner, your first 4 years, you're getting your feet wet. You should be doing a lot of listening. You should be talking to your community, seeing what the needs are, the demands are, how can you fill those gaps, what is your purpose. But in the next 4 years, you're really getting that opportunity to implement all the things that you've already been working on. So I'd love nothing more than to serve as your Huerfano County Commissioner for a second term. And my phone is on the website, so please contact me if you have any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
It's my honor to represent the people of Huerfano County, not just Democrats, Republicans, all people. I fight for all of us. We all need help here. We need economic growth. We need more money to pay for our services. It's going to be the honor of my life to serve you. Right now, we're in the midst of a primary election. You have a choice between far left and a moderate that champions bipartisanship. I will work full-time when elected as county commissioner. I look forward to being out on the ground, meeting people where they work and live to help solve their problems. Please add me on Facebook, check out my website, travisforhuerfano.com, and also do a search on YouTube for Travis Nelson Huerfano. I will be expanding all of this information further on Facebook and providing you with hard data to back up what I'm saying. I'd be grateful for your one vote this primary election. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Thank you. Mr. Quintana.
I would first like to thank Arica for bringing up that city, town, county perspective. I've already spoken with Mayor Vazani about that, and he's all in. And so now I need to talk with the representatives from La Vida. I believe that's one of the answers to our problem is communication, and I intend to see that that happens. I'm new to this kind of format, and so I'm a little nervous, but in reality, I can do the job. I've done it many times. I've served as a city councilman, as a mayor pro tem, as a mayor, and as mayor, I did many good things for our community, and I want to do that again. I want, with all my heart, I want to do that again. And I think I have some good ideas, and with the right people in place, I think that it can happen. Please vote for Bruce Quintana, District 1. I need your votes. If you see my website, please give it a look, and I thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Chamberlain.
Thank you. I'm Jim Chamberlain, and I'm committed to working for our county government and ensure our services are efficient, effective, and responsive to the needs of our citizens, whether it's improving our roads, enhancing our public safety, or providing access to health care and education. I will work to make sure that our government is working for you. As commissioner, I'll be a strong voice for our rural communities and working to ensure that we have the resources and support we need to thrive. I am honored to have the opportunity to serve as your commissioner, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you to build a brighter future for Huerfano County. So vote Jim Chamberlain for Huerfano County Commissioner, District 2. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Wardell.
Thank you. My name is Mitchell Wardell, and I believe Huerfano County's shortcomings, no matter what they may be, can be solved by real economic growth through the private sector, creating good-paying jobs with limited government assistance. Government functions depend on tax revenue. We need more sustainable solutions that will encourage a flourishing economy so people can afford the things they need, and not one that is artificially propped up with grants and government projects. I do think grants have a place, but we should look at a more sustainable option. Thank you.
Thank you. This brings an end to our event. I would like to thank all of the participants, Mitchell Wardell, Jim Chamberlain, Bruce Quintana, Travis Nelson, Arica Andreatta, and Dale Lyons. I appreciate all of you guys coming here for this. I might also like to thank our organizers, the Fox Theater Walsenburg, Huerfano County Economic Development, Inc., Huerfano County, myself, Ann Caffey, and special thanks to Evan Cassander for his production. I want to thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.